right here. This is the moment most people throw fights in Overwatch. Hey guys, it's Sky. Today I'm going to be talking about off angles, and more specifically, the biggest mistake most players make when they take off angles. First, let me explain what an off angle is if you're not aware. An off angle is simply a separate angle from the rest of your team. So for example, right now my team is kind of on the left here and I'm on the right. I'm not fully stacked with my team. I'm just on a separate angle, which is going to make the enemies, if you see over here, they're either going to have to look on the left or on the right, because I'm on an off angle and my team is stacked man. The purpose of an off angle is to, one, distract the enemies, to make them look at you, use resources on you, use cooldowns to allow your team to have an easier time killing them. Or two, when you take the off angle, the enemy is already distracted by your team and it makes it easier for you to force out cooldowns, resources and attention, and maybe potentially get a pick. Here you can see the Genji's distracted by my teammate over here, and I'm on a really far off angle because I was just coming back from spawn, and I was able to get a free pick because he didn't know I was there. The main reason why like off angles are so good is because of the element of surprise. For example, I'm on this right side over here, and my tank is on this left side. He's paying a lot of attention, and what you're gonna see is that this Moira over here is focused on this tank. So my Illari is actually off angling the Moira, and he forces her to fade out. See, Moira's focused on my tank. She gets shot at by people on the off angle. She gets forced out because she didn't know they were there. So she fades out, and then she lands around over here. She's still distracted by her team because she's trying to heal them, trying to shoot my tank. But she doesn't realize that I'm on the left over here until she looks over, and then it's too late. That's why off angles are so strong, because of the element of surprise. It's like, imagine when you take an angle, there's like a meter, and it's like the surprise meter, and it goes down the longer you're on that angle, because the longer you're somewhere, the more likely it is for the enemies to realize you're actually there, and then your angle becomes way less effective because they can just play around you. They can play cover, distance. But also, the amount of danger you're in on that angle goes up, because the longer you're staying in the same place, the more chance that enemies have to capitalize on that positioning, because you haven't moved in a while. Now I'm going to show you some examples of staying on an off angle too long and how that gets me killed, and then I'm going to show you some good examples of off angling and how I disengage fast enough to not die. Alright, so here's the first example. So, you know, this is just classic Rialto second point defense. You're still on top of the high ground. Pretty normal. I'm just shooting. Oh, and then I'm dead. So, how did I die here? Well, let's analyze. So, I went up top, which is fine. Now, I went up top, shot the soldier a bit, forced him out, and that's great. I'm playing high ground. That's great. But what was the mistake I made here? I'll give you a few seconds. I overstayed my welcome on this specific angle. So let me explain what I should have done and what I usually do. So what I do is, when I'm taking the angle on this high ground here, I like to rotate from, you know, this window to this window, then maybe back to this window, and then back to this window. This way it keeps my like positioning very unpredictable, and it's really hard to actually know exactly which window I'm on. The mistake I made was simply staying on this window too long. Because you see, I see that the Hanzo sees me, which means, one, my position is no longer very surprising because he's actually looking at me, and two, I'm in danger because the Hanzo is looking at me and he can one-shot me. So what I should have done, as soon as he saw me here, I should have literally just gone over here and then gone on the left, shoot. He looks at me again. I'm gonna change my angle because it constantly keeps him on his toes. Because like, look at this over here. Let's look at his POV. Look how easy it is for him to line up the shot here. So he sees me. This is where I should have left. And then he just lined up the shot. Boom, I'm dead. Easy shot, right? But it would have been a lot harder if I was rotating left and right. Let's go on to another bad angle. Alright, so here's another example of me staying on the same angle for too long. Now, I'm going to preface, it does help if you're already in a pretty good position, because this fight, I wasn't really in like the best position. You know, I'm in this hallway. There's a bunch of people on high grounds, but I'm gonna just show you like what happened in the fight, the reason why I died, and what I think I should have done to help myself maybe live. So the Doom goes in. We all turn around, but you'll notice I'm just stood in the same spot. And then the brig drops, she gets low, she pops rally, but I'm still in the same spot. I'm still playing in the same spot. And then I get pushed by Doom, so I coach out, but then the cast is there because they were all converging on me because I was staying in the same position. So let me show you this from the Dooms and the cast's POV, right? So the Doom's here. I think he slams in. Yeah, he slams in. Punches the Weaver, cool. But then he sees me, right? He sees me. And then he's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna punch on this guy because he's just standing still. So I punch on him, boom, I'm missing. He coaches out, but then my teammate off angles the Ashe, and she does. So you see how I was just stood in that stationary position. Now I'm gonna show you this from Cass's POV. So his Doom goes in, he's trying to follow up. He walks forward to kill the Cass. Cass dead. And then he's now flanking me, and I'm dead. Oh, good shot. So, what I should have done, instead of standing still for basically that whole fight, I think here, or maybe here, once I saw the cast go on the left, I should have moved over here under this little, like, canopy thing. Because now, I'm in LOS of my Weaver. I'm kind of way more behind this brig. And I've got more cover. And if the Doom pushes me, the Life Weaver might be able to get me out. But instead, staying in the same position, I'm static and I am just dead. So now I'm going to show you some examples of good off angles and leaving the angle at a good time. And you'll see like how the distraction gets just so much value. Alright, so here's an example of a good off angle when disengaging early so I don't die. So right now you can see I'm on main, I'm shooting, and then I realize, okay, I can go for an angle here, try and see what I can do. So I go on the left. Let me show you the POV of the enemies first. So most of their team is looking this way. Not many people are looking this way other than this Genji, but you'll see what's about to happen. So I see Genji, I dynamite him. He uses dash to get onto me, so that's already really good. I forced out a cooldown without even doing anything. He's on fire, and then I coach away because I don't even close range to the Genji. And then you'll see what happens. So, Mazara's just playing here. She's shooting. And she sees the Genji dash in, distracted by me, and he's on fire. He has no cooldowns. So what does Zara do? He just pushes him because he's not going to. He has no cooldowns, so he's gonna die. Now in this specific situation, the Genji didn't die. He got really low, but that's fine. I did my job. Let me backtrack. So, and most of the times, an off angle is going to be play main until an opportunity opens up for you to then move on to onto the off angle, because they need to register your presence in main for you to then go to a new angle where it's surprising. Off angle, I see Genji, he dashes, I use coach, I get away, I'm alive. I did my part. I forced cooldowns, I forced the attention, and I got out. And then I'm still able to, play. I'm still able to play the fire and stuff. So that's a good off angle because I didn't overstay my welcome. Let's use the meters again as an example. The danger and surprise meter. So right now, danger's pretty low. Surprise is going to be very high because no one knows I've taken this angle yet. So surprise is pretty high because he's just seen me. I'm able to get the dynamite off, but it gets pretty dangerous because it's Genji and he dashes into me. So now it gets pretty dangerous. He knows I'm there. He's close range, so I'm in pretty good amount of danger, and he now knows I'm here. So what am I gonna do? This is a bad angle now. I'm leaving. See ya. And then my Zara capitalizes. Let me show you a final example of a good off angle. This is an example of how you can play an angle pretty greedily, but because I have the resources to be able to get out for free, you'll see how much value I'm able to force out just from sitting here in this corner. So to recap. I'm walking forward. I think we just got a pick. Yeah, we just got a pick on the cast, but their ram killed our Lucio. So right now, their team is over here. The enemy team's in blue. And then I'm just shooting. The ram's nanoed, so I back up because I don't want him too close to that. I'm just shooting. Now, they know I'm in this corner, right? Like, they know I'm in this corner. But to kill me, they're gonna have to swing in front of my ram and my tracer. Like they're gonna have to visibly swing. But because I'm on an off angle, they're just gonna get pummeled by my ram. So they have to make a choice. Do they want to go for me and get pummeled by my ram and my tracer, or do they want to go for the ram and then get shot at by me? Now, this is a special scenario where I can just stay here for free because I've got Transcendence. So what you're going to see happen is I'm going to peek out, and then eventually the ram is just going to want to push me. You see him, he swings, he pushes me, but this is fine. You know, you'd think, oh my god, Kai is ram, you're going to die. No, I'm fine. I have Transcendence. I discord him, and then he immediately backs up because he knows straight away that he's just fucked. But the big thing that happens, the really, like, the big thing I want you to focus on is how their supports are playing. That's my support. So, right now, they're kind of playing back, playing safe. What happens when the ram walks forward because he's distracted by me? Well, obviously, the Illari and the ram, the Illari and the Ana are going to walk forward, which actually puts them in the danger zone of my Tracer, who's able to flank them because they're walking forward. You see, everyone's in a clump here. I trans, so I'm fine. I've done my job, forcing in the ram, distracting him. And now that everyone's walked forward, my Tracers are able to get a free flank, easy pulse because they're focused on this big team fight. And then boom, 2 supports dead, easy fight, Ram's discord, and then boom. And then you can see the advantage of taking an off angle on Tracer. He sees that everyone's main. You know, like, I didn't even script this part, but this is, like, really important to understand. Right, so see this. Tracer's main, he realizes he's not really getting a lot of value, because you don't get a lot of value on Tracer sitting on main, so he's capping point with Ram. And then what he's going to do is he realizes, okay, everyone's main, so I'm going to just go flank. And then because of that play I made, which forced in the Ram, made the supports look forward, he's able to get a free pulse and kill 2. And then that's just a free fight. So anyway, guys, I hope that helped you understand why sometimes you might die on an off angle. It's just because you're overcommitting to the angle and you're not following the danger and the surprise meter. Just to recap, the danger meter goes up the longer you're on an angle, which is the reason why you probably die, because you ignore the danger and you don't leave when you have to. And the surprise meter goes down. The surprise meter is what's actually going to be like the value of going on the angle. You take an angle, surprises at an all-time high because they don't know you're there. But that meter goes down the longer you're on the angle because they've gotten accustomed to you, and they'll be able to play cover, you know, distance, and then your angle becomes a little bit more obsolete, so you have to change the angle. Anyway, if this helps you think about off angles differently, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you actually want to improve faster, check out my school community in the link in the description. Also, I'm live every day on Twitch, so go check that out. Peace.